There exists a fundamental impedance mismatch between the cognitive models of your clients and you as a software developer. That is the cause of a lot of the problems we are experiencing in the software development industry today. If you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, let me try to dumb it down a little bit by using analogies. You see, your clients are living on one planet and you are living on a completely different planet, and you are speaking different languages because you have different experiences. You are a software developer, you think in terms of code. Your clients are typically not software developers, and therefore they think in terms of their own business requirements. So a client can come to you and tells you, I need a button. It should be green. It should be here. When I click it, this should happen. At this point, you should have several alarms going off in your head. Dee, 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 dee. Warning, warning, danger, Mr. Robinson, danger. Because the client's task is not to explain what and how. The client's task is to explain why. Now, a great example of this is a feature I just did this morning in our AI chatbot. I'm going to show it to you later and analyze its code for you. Where one of our clients asked us for a pop-up above the chatbot button, which animates into view after some handful of seconds of inactivity. So if the client just scrolls your website, then after some 3-4 seconds, blip, pop-up comes up to show, hi there, you want to talk to me? I'm an AI chatbot. Hello, hello. Now, if I had asked the client what, then he would have started explaining to me how, resulting in that the client might possibly have said things such as, yeah, I want to have a button above the chatbot button that shows after some 3-4, okay, already at this point, when I'm transpiling the client's requirements into code, I've already now in my head created 2 buttons. So I now have 2 buttons. One, the primary chatbot button, and the secondary button at the top that fades into view after some 3 to 4 seconds. So now I've complicated my code, because now all of a sudden I've added a new DOM element into the HTML, resulting in future technical debt, because now I have 2 DOM elements to worry about in regards to compatibility towards existing CSS and, you know, maintaining further down the road, etc., etc. Now, whenever a client tells you that he wants a thing, you should try to ask the client, why do you want this thing? What do you want to achieve with this thing? Now, if I had asked our client that question, he would probably have come back and said, yeah, I want the AI chatbot to be more visible. I want more people to engage with it. I want it to be more intrusive and in their faces as they are accessing our website. And the way I'd like for that to happen is by having, after some few seconds, like a talking bubble popping up above the AI chatbot button. That kind of like draws the attention of the user down to the chatbot button, increasing the statistical probability of that the user clicks that button. Okay, so now I understand why, and now I understand why the client wants what he wants. And I also understand some of the elements required to implement that thing. But at this point, the client didn't dictate or tell me or request anything from the software developer in regards to how to implement this. So let me show you a great example of how I implemented that exact thing. Now if I refresh this website, 1000 to 1000, you see after 3 seconds, this thing in the bottom right corner, "Hi, I'm Frank, ask me anything about iNiro," pops up. Let me refresh again to illustrate once more. And there it comes. And of course the purpose being to move the eyes towards the AI chatbot, because the AI chatbot is a kick-ass lead generation funnel, and once people start interacting with it, the statistical probability of that the visitor is going to convert on your website, regardless of what product you're selling, significantly increases. So we want to make sure that as many people as possible are actually interacting with the AI chatbot. Let me show once more by refreshing 1000 to 1000, 1000. It takes 3 seconds for it to show. And that's its purpose. Its purpose is to be delayed for them to bloop up in your face. Show that, hey, you can talk to me. Hello, I'm here, talk to me. So now, yet again, if I was to implement this in accordance to the client's requirements, and I asked, okay, how do you want this to happen, blah, 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 it will probably end up as a new button. Here I can click this guy, for instance, right? So the client would probably say, oh yeah, the user needs to be able to click the chat, etc., etc. So I'd end up complicating my code base and my product. So let me show you how I did it. You see, I did it without adding anything to the DOM whatsoever. I didn't add that, chatbot bubble either, because it's actually a pseudo element. Here you can see now, if I show you the code here at line 148 to line 152, basically checks to see if pop-up is declared in the JavaScript file, which is a part of the embed code. And then if it is, it actually just adds a CSS class to the chatbot button. And then it sets a dynamic property being the value of the pop-up query parameter. And then in the CSS again, what it's doing, it's actually referencing that dynamically created property in the CSS. And then it's creating the entirety of the chatbot bubble using the pseudo CSS class selector before. So now all of a sudden I have a much cleaner solution, much more easily maintained and much more easily managed. Why? Because I didn't complicate my DOM. I didn't add additional new DOM elements to the page. I mean, obviously the browser does this behind the scenes, etc. But that is not code I need to maintain in the future. So I didn't, add additional, elements that provides technical debt for me in the future, forcing me to maintain something that I didn't need to maintain. While at the same time, I delivered the exact same thing that the client wanted. So I delivered 100% on the client's requirements, but I did not give the client what he wanted. Because if I had asked the client, what do you want? He would probably have told me, oh yeah, I need another button on top of the existing button that fades into view after 3 seconds, blah, 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 etc. You see, clients don't know how to create software. And you, unless you happen to be lucky and, happen to have this particular skill, don't understand why necessarily the client wants a thing that he wants. Now, use cases have been historically used to fix this problem. And a use case is basically as follows. It's typically an item in your backlog that starts out with, as a user of project XYZ, I want to be able to blah, 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 etc. And this allows the product owner to describe his intentions and his whys, while he leaves the how remaining to the software developer. And this produces higher quality software. So Basically, the conclusion is to never, ever, ever give your client what he wants. Ask him why he wants that, and then solve his problem. You see, you shouldn't ask your clients about what they want. You should ask them about why they want it. And you should ask them about what they want to achieve and accomplish, at which point the how remains up to you to figure out.